Okay, now we're going to get started on modeling the keep. And in order to start with the keep, we're going to start with using the lookout tower and copying that. And we're going to paste that into a new object layer. And we're going to be using this as the corners of the keep. I need to merge those. And we're just going to pull these down because the keep won't be quite as high as the lookout towers. And kind of the same idea as when we made the gate. And we mirror that, we have 4. And I'm going to go ahead and create a box in a new layer. Trying to go right down the center of each part here. And we want to make sure we're covering up these arrow loops, and we're going to pull it out just past the arrow loops. Because it won't be exactly center anyway, they're going to be tilted at their pivot point pretty much. It's going to be a little more inward. I'm going to go ahead and pull this down actually. Or we'll do up. I think up be a little bit better. We're going to start out by modeling the front of the keep. And we're going to knife about right there. And then about 1 Merlin down. And we'll start right there. And just pull this in. And as you can see, we are exposing the arrow loop a little. And if we're going to expose it, we might as well expose the whole thing. So we're going to grab that polygon and pull it in. And be a little more dramatic here. And the next thing we want to work on is the entranceway. And the entranceway has got to be a little bit more interesting. So we're going to start down here. And we're going to pull this out. And then knife it again. And then one more time, pretty much right underneath it. And pull that in. We'll grab these points and push them up. And then grab this point, these ones, and pull those up. Because we don't want such a large overhang there. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on creating these stairs up to the door. And now we want to make them in proportion. And by looking at this, a person will be about this tall, I'd say. Let's take a look at that. Let's see if that's right. Okay. We're just going to use that. Because right now we don't have the entire castle in actual proportion. Because if we did, this person would be about 7 meters tall, and that would be pretty large. And if we want to keep everything in proportion, we could just scale it all down at once later. But we're going to use that right now as a background. Just to get an idea of the size of a step. And I think the size of a step would be about, they're going to be a little bit larger than normal, so about right there. No, that would be about up to his torso, so we're going to pull it down. And we're not going to position these perfectly just yet, and we're going to wait until we reach the right height, figure out where the door is going to go, and make adjustments as necessary. And we can delete these bottom polygons because we won't need them. And we're going to add a few more. We're just going to copy all of these and paste them. And the top one, we're going to make it so that the pathway doesn't go all the way to the door. And there's a little bit of a walkway to stand on. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alright, so we can delete this person we have. And we're going to want supports holding this, and we're just going to use a beam support for that, which will make a wooden texture later. And we're going to bevel that. And delete these top polygons. Not the points, the polygons. And then we're going to come down here to these stairs, and we are going to bevel those as well. Oh, and it looks like we need to move this down. Alright, zoom in a bit. And we're just going to bevel that. And now you've got this nice looking steps. Let's give it a quick surface name. Okay, and we're gonna give this a surface name and call it overhang, which will probably make a wood texture as well. And we're going to want to round that out a little. So we're just going to knife it. And then knife it on the bottom. And this erratic little looking polygons right here won't show up because they'll be shoved inside the towers. Okay, now we're going to start working on the top for right now. So jump over to that. And we're going to grab a Merlin from the wall section, along with its accents. And copy that and paste it into a new layer. And then we're just going to position these. And it looks like we've got a little bit of a proportion problem here. And let's hang on a sec. Concentric. Ah, this was something I was working on earlier, that's why. We can close that object. And delete that Marlin. Alright, now if we go to the concentric wall and select the Merlin, okay, that looks a lot better. And we'll mirror that. And we're going to put one right in the center. I want to keep that up, so we'll copy and paste. And get those centered. And add one more over here. And we're going to mirror those. And then we're going to mirror these as well. Actually, I think we're going to pull that sort of awning inward a little. It's a little large. Just to stretch out a little bit above the stairs. And we're not going to make it quite so tall. We'll just stretch these polygons down and see how that looks. That looks a lot better. Okay, we also got to alter this beam support we had in here. So we're just gonna move that inward. There we go. And now we're gonna add the keep's front entrance. Which we're actually just gonna go ahead and grab the door from the round tower and copy that and go ahead and paste that and keep everything about the same size, and then these will also be the same texture later on. Move that in a little more. And there we have our door. And I'm going to keep these walls flush for right now, but we can also go in and add this trim like we did earlier, and we could add windows if we wanted. I just wanted to show you how to kind of piece together most of the keep, but we've covered a lot of the other details, and there's really no sense in going over them again. So the next thing we're going to do is start putting it all together in layout.